think content, I mean, everyone knows content is key, right? And I think for content alignment, content strategy, and this big word of demand gen, right? It's like Tetris. It's like, what do you need to play Tetris, right? What kind of building blocks do you need? So this is what you really have to think in your content, right? You have to think about what can work, what is, what is at every part of the buyer journey, what do you need, right? So it's not just about the topic. We need to write about the topic. No, it's not about that. It's about kind of, well, what topics do you have, right? And then how can you leverage them? So it's first and foremost, it's like, at what stage is your buyer or the possible person that might be buying your product or your service? And then what kind of content do you need for that, right? Is it a 2-minute video? Is it a very long detailed study? Is it just a short, a short blog or anything like that? I think that's really key to really look at what do you need at what stage and to understand the market. What does the market need, right? Is the market into the videos? Is the market into reading? Do you have to mix and match? And then also repurposing, right? So when you do your content and you have this aligned, it's also like, well, we talked about local markets, right? What can you repurpose? What if something is gone in the market that fits another market? Can you translate? Can you use it? If you're something that's long, can you make it short? To really try to align your blocks for your Tetris game in the beginning, but also in the long run to think, well, I mean, it's really great if you release a new white paper, right? Great, let's get lead gen going, but what do you do after with it, right? Like, what do you do with the content after? So when building the content and lining and the strategy for it, for your demand gen, it's not just to have a piece, it's about what's there and how do you use it afterwards, right? What comes next? And do you have these pieces already aligned or do you need to align them? And the other thing is for example, demand gen campaigns, you need to think ahead of what you might want to, do you even have the content useful, right? If you want to build a big awareness, do you have awareness content or do you have actually, content that is for later in the buying stage or the journey of the customer? I think that's quite important for content. And I think one point to add to this is also that when we talk demand gen, we talk, or playing Tetris. I love the analogy with that one. It's like, you don't just play for a second, right? You continuously play, you come back with playing, you continue playing, you level up. And it's the same for content. You can't just, one piece of content is not going to succeed. You have to have consistent content, multiple content pieces, more and more, because it's a long game, right? And you consistently have to feed kind of your pipeline with a lot of different content pieces. They don't always have to be new, right? They can be repurposed, recycled, split in pieces. I think one has to just be very smart of how to use your content in the long run.
So I would also like to add that this 83% stats is really important, because that basically means that buyer drives the purchase, not the vendor, right? So just to show up to the game, it's the critical for success. And sometimes as marketers, we're in the business of content creation and we always think, okay, what's the life cycle of this piece of content? And what I found out, that was my like personal lesson, that sometimes content has much longer lifespan than we think about it, because people just consume content at their own pace. And for some of them, like 3-year-old white paper can be more important than cutting-edge new piece of content. And also another thing which I wanted to mention is that you all know how we consume content these days. Basically, everyone is the media today, right? And so that creates so much competition that, first of all, you need to come up with high quality content. But anyway, you compete with entertainment content, and that's difficult. And that somehow drives costs up. So to produce the content, it becomes more and more expensive. And also to get it to the customer, it becomes more and more expensive. So cost of reach, cost of action on customer side has dramatically increased, but budgets. So I know, Bernie, you mentioned that many companies increase their budgets, but not so much. I think the cost per touch increased much more than we saw in our budget increase. So that's why at Dell, we try to map content to customer journey. And what we did last year, we automated customer journey. So we kind of feed the next relevant piece of content based on previous engagements. And what we're investigating right now is what we need to do post-purchase. Yeah, because we've never been there. It was always like down to services. But now marketing wants to play even more active role and try to engage on post-purchase stage as well.